Hi, everybody. It's Jill here with Illuminating Women, and you're probably wondering, what has she got on here? Well, we've had a lot of snow here, and this is our girls' night out, and we thought to be safe for our community and for our members and attendees that we would just make our girls' night out at home. And today we've got virtual. We can go Zoom, and so we are coming to you recording two of our members who will be presenting, and these ladies have so much juice and excitement and so many golden nuggets to really help you launch into your 2020 fired up and ready to go. So without any further ado, I want to welcome Sheila Storrer. Am I saying that right? Storrer? Yep. And you're—
Yes, you are, Sheila Storrer.
Sure, there we go. I want to welcome you to this place, and I thank you. We talked a little bit about our words and goals, and when we discussed what is it that women are struggling with or going through, and how we can make it even better for us. And so, thank you for willing to teach us today. Tell us a little bit about you, what you do, and then teach us tonight. So, welcome everybody. We're welcome Sheila.
Thank you, Jill. I am so excited to be here with you guys. I joined Illuminating Women over a year ago, and it's just been wonderful. Everyone has been so welcoming to me. And to tell you a little bit about myself, I'm a leadership and a life coach. And I was thinking about putting together a bio, and it's kind of hard when you've been doing this for as long as we've all been doing our stuff to kind of like synthesize it. But what I do with my clients is I ask them to dream big and to say out loud, sometimes for the very first time, what they really want to create for their lives. And then from that place, we put an action plan together and we make it happen. So when I was like doing the numbers on how long I've been doing this, I've been doing this for over 20 years. I'm also a licensed independent clinical social worker. So when I was thinking about, so all of this I've been doing for over 20 years, but actually all this kind of started for me when I was a kid. I used to love to just be with my mom and her friends. And I always would call my mom, like, she was always like a secret social worker, secret coach. She was always had women over and had so many cool, supportive friends. And so I used to love to just sit with them and listen to their hopes, their dreams, their challenges at home and at work. And so that's where this all, as I look back, that's where this all kind of started for me. So today I work with women who are entrepreneurs, stay-at-home moms, retired moms. I've recently started working, I'm working with a couple women right now who are like new college grads, and they're trying to figure out their, like what's next? Like now they're out of school, people telling them what to do, now they get to create life how they want it. And so it's been a ton of fun. So when I was brainstorming about this talk and thinking about what I wanted to share, what I really want to share is that we get to choose how we want our lives. We get to design our lives. And it's really great that we're having this conversation in January, new decade, blank slate, we get to create it. And I loved, you all are speaking my language, the way that you were talking about goals and your words, totally speaking my language. And my goal tonight is to give you something to kind of expand your goals, more ways to look at your goals, more ways to broaden your goals to help you be successful. So before we talk about the new year, one thing, if you haven't done, that I would encourage you to do is really get clear on what your wins were for 2019. Take a big piece of paper and write down your wins around your business, your family, your health, your friendships, your parenting, all the wins. And then you can have another sheet. I call it like what's lingering. Like what are the things that you don't feel quite complete on? What are the things that you might need to do some work on to let go? What are some of the things that you want to bring into 2020 and maybe redesign? And keep that going. But the big thing is your wins, and do some celebrating about it. I think that's what we just don't celebrate. We do our things and then we're like, okay, great, on to the next thing. So really take some time and get clear and do some celebrating. Okay, so new year, new decade, all the things. So I really love New Year's Eve. It's always been one of my favorites. And I love making resolutions. And I love being on social media and reading everyone's resolutions and reading their words. It's just, it's juicy and it's fun. So how many of you made resolutions for 2020? Let's see, I'm gonna try. Yay. Okay, cool. So maybe a couple people could just throw some out, unmute yourself and throw some out. Or type, or you know what, you can type some in the chat box. Because my feeling is we probably all have kind of the same resolution. I bet some of our resolutions are along the lines of like, I'm gonna exercise more, I'm gonna go to bed earlier, I'm gonna, these are mine, take my vitamins. So, okay, so from that place, think back to 2019, which was only 15 days ago, but think to 17 days ago, but think back to January 2019. Did you, no more hamster wheel, I love it. So think back to 2019. Did you make resolutions for 2019? So my guess is a lot of you probably did. So keep thinking. So think back to 2019. Do you remember what your resolutions were? Right? Okay, so I always remember my resolutions because they're always the same and they never happen. It's always drink more water, take more vitamins, and eat better. So I know what they are because they don't happen. Well, actually, like they'll happen for like 2 or 3 days and then I'm like, okay, forget it. I hate this. I don't want to, the whole deal, right? So if you're a person like me who made the resolutions and didn't do them, you are in good company because I've got some stats to share with you. So the stats on how many people make resolutions and follow through are this. The stats on how many people actually follow through and accomplish their New Year's resolutions are rather grim. Studies have shown that less than 25% of people actually stay committed to their resolutions after just 30 days, and only 8% accomplish them. Pretty crazy, right? And not surprising, but what cracks me up about that stat is we do so much celebrating and announcing them and the whole thing, and then we just don't do them, right? So if you ask me why we don't keep our resolutions, what I would say is that they come from a really disempowered place. They come from a place of fixing or a should. So think about it. Or they come from fear. Like, I hate my body, I hate myself, I'm gonna work out a zillion times. I eat like crap, I need to take my vitamins. Or I watch too much TV, I'm gonna stop watching TV because my brain's gonna die. And actually that one could be true for me, but that's a whole nother story. So think about it. Yeah, it could be something like, I'm gonna have a podcast because if I don't, I'm not gonna be successful. Or if I don't have a newsletter, I'm the only person in the world who doesn't have a newsletter, so I suck, right? So do you get where I'm going? You get where I'm pointing? Super disempowered, super coming from a place of fear. Or we make them based on what we should be doing. Like, I should be making organic meals because Instagram tells me, or my mother tells me, or my mother-in-law tells me, right? So they come from shoulds, fears, completely disempowered places. And that's why we don't do them. That's why we ditch them, because they're not fun. They're more like chores. So if resolutions don't work, and we know from the stats and probably from everybody on this call, right, that resolutions don't work. So what does work to create change? I want to agree to, awesome. Okay, hold that, Jill, and we will get to that. Okay, so what does create change if resolutions don't work? Well, sounds like we everyone had them. What works with my clients and what works with me is that we don't make resolutions. What we do is we create goals. We get super clear on their whys, their visions, their dreams, what they really want, like the juicy fun stuff, not like I'm going to take vitamins because I suck, right? And then we put actions and structures into place to make the goals happen. And so what we're going to do tonight, and it sounds like all of you have really spent some time doing this, we're just going to kind of go through some steps. And hopefully you'll get more from this that you can kind of beef up your goals to make some success. Okay, so you might be thinking, what's the difference between making goals and making resolutions? Like, is it just semantics, right? Well, actually, goals move us towards something. They put us in motion. They're long-term. They're meaningful. Where resolutions are more like a declaration. It must happen or they don't count. I drink water. If I don't, I suck. If I, like, it's a 100% game, right? Like if I don't do it, it's a fail. I post every day on social media for my business, or I don't, and I suck. That's kind of, I guess, you know, you can probably tell that's my flavor of where my brain goes. So they're a perfect tool to use to just beat ourselves up with. And that's what we do. We forget them when we don't, and when we don't do them, that's what we do. So goals, so resolutions are coming from a place of fear or a should, and goals are different because they come from a very empowered place. And I say that goals come from love instead of fear. And so, and when I say that, I don't mean like love, like gushy, ooh, hug me, kiss me, love. What I mean is, okay, and this is so old school, so forgive me, but I didn't have time to make slides today, which was my plan. This is love. So love, play, connection, excellence, values, passion, commitment, doing good work. That is coming from love. Where fear, which is like our resolutions, do not tell my children that I am doing this because they will make fun of me that I did not do a PowerPoint. Okay, fear is coming from performance, doing it alone, perfection, being a martyr, righteousness, being right, overfunction, hustling for work, control and manage. So that's what I mean when I say choosing from love and choosing from fear. Okay, so let's talk about the gym again. So if you're going because you, if you're coming from a place of fear, like you're not enough, your body's not good, you're fat, like whatever your story is in your head, that's coming from fear. And what if you switch it? Like, I'm going to the gym because I feel better and my spirit needs it and my body needs it to be healthy. So you get like that reframe. And so think about like the resolution, like let's say your resolution is like, I'm going to be nicer to my family. Well, if it's a resolution and it's coming from fear, it's probably coming from like a perfection. Like, I'm a crappy mom, so I need to be nicer to my family, versus, wow, I really want to work on connection and kindness. And that's really going to enrich my relationships. And that's going to set my kids up for greater success, coming from love, not fear. What if you do the podcast because you want to connect versus I have to do a podcast because Susie Q does a podcast. And if I don't, I'm not a good businesswoman. So, all my clients have different goals, which makes coaching super fun. And I don't really care what the goal is. It could be vitamins, it could be writing a book, it could be running a marathon. What I care about is where they're choosing from. Are they choosing from fear, regret, society's demands, or is it coming from their heart, from their greatest desire, from a place of love? Okay, so that's step one, looking at where we're choosing from. That's step one in goal setting. So I'm going to give you another, just a simple thing to think about when you're around choosing. So where do you choose lunch from? Like, do you choose lunch from like, oh my God, that looks delicious and that looks healthy and I can't wait to eat it? Or are you choosing from, I need to pick the celery because I can't fit into my jeans because I'm a slob, right? So you can use this where you're choosing from in everything that you do, because we have a relationship with everything. We have a relationship with food. We have a relationship with, I have a relationship with this mug. I love it so much. Seriously. Okay, so that's step one. So what would it be like to start the new year doing things differently and really choosing from a place of love versus a place of fear? So that's step one, creating awareness. Step two is your vision. And a lot of you guys know that, right? Like your big picture. Why do you want to expand your business? Why do you want to be healthy? You want to run around and be able to play with your grandkids. You want to expand your business because you want to make an impact, because you want to make money to support your family and yourself. So that's step two, getting super duper clear on your vision. So awareness and vision is so necessary. They are the first two steps, but awareness and vision, they're the booby prize. That is not enough to get your results. Next up is you have to have actions. So your actions, we want our actions to be measurable, and we want to declare by when we will do them. So for example, let's say you're going to create a newsletter. Okay, awesome. Like, what do you need to do that? You need to learn MailChimp. How are you going to do that? By when? You need to hire someone to edit. Maybe you don't, I do. who's it going to be, when you're going to call them, when are you going to have a deadline. Let's say you want to have 3 new clients by February 1st. What are the actions that need to happen? I need to go to, you know, 4 networking groups. By when? So you're always wanting to put it in measurable, and you're always wanting to put in a by when. So I need to drink more water. Awesome. Okay, you got the awareness, healthy, blah, blah, blah. When are you going to drink your water? How many times a day? You want to work on, you want a stronger relationship with your partner. Okay, what does that look like? You are going to schedule date nights. How many a month? By when will you schedule them? How many texts, if you want to do text check-ins during the day? So you want your goals, you want your, you want your actions to be measurable, and you want to have by whens put in. Okay, so now we have awareness, super strong vision, and action. The 4th step, which actually is so perfect because you all have this going on in this group. The 4th step is support. Awareness, strong what for, action plus support equals results. So what I think is super interesting about us as humans is we have this thing, like okay, we are social creatures, we need each other, but we have this thing that to be successful, we should be able to do it on our own. And like when I'll say to my clients, like, who can support you? Who can hold you accountable? They look at me like, what? I should be able to do this by myself. Like if I really have it together, I should be able to crush this by myself. And that's just not how we are. So I'll give you a couple examples of how accountability and support works in my life. So I have a group of women that I work out with. And if I do not show up, like we have our days that we meet. If I do not show up, I hear about it. I show up, right? I have a business bestie who I've actually never met. We met online in a coaching group. And we, beginning of the month, we do a call where we lay out what we want to accomplish for the month. Oh my gosh, I'm running out of time. How much time? I can't see whatever that thing is. Oh, I'm okay.
5 minutes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so like I have my business bestie. We lay out the plan for the month, right? Of what we're each going to do. And then we check in weekly with each other to hold ourselves accountable. So I have a lot of structures put into place. I have my own coach. And like when I was putting together this talk, we set up deadlines. I never met a deadline. I never missed a deadline. When I was stuck, she helped me. And if I didn't have her, I will just be honest, I would have been working on this like yesterday and freaking out. So she really held me accountable. And this is like my all-time favorite. I have a client who's writing a book, super big why, making an impact in the lives of new moms. She's got the vision, she's got the awareness. We put the actions together. She could not do it. So she hired a book coach who she calls her book babysitter. And they're on Zoom for 90 minutes a week. And the book babysitter just sits there while my client works on her book. And she is almost done now. And she's been putting it off for so long. So with the example of her, she had the vision, she had the actions, but she did not have support sufficient to make it happen. Okay, so awareness, vision, action, support, and structures equals results. You need those 4 things. Okay, so I have 3 minutes left. What I would really invite you to do is to take one area of your life that you want to move forward and make a note on a Post-it note or whatever you have laying around. Make a note of what's one action that you want to take to move you forward this week and who can support you. And then either message them through Zoom or send them a text, but get something set up, or say, hey, can you hold me accountable? Could you check in with me by Friday and make sure that I made those 5 sales calls that I declared and said that I want to make? Okay, so in conclusion, I want to offer all of you, if you would like a session with me to take an action, and we could like bang out a whole project design and put some actions in place, and we can get clear on your awareness, where you're choosing from, your vision. We could put actions together and put in place who would support you. I would love to do that with you. That's my favorite thing. And I love what all of you are up to. It's really, you're all up to really exciting things. So thank you so much. This was so wonderful. And I can't wait to talk to you all in January 2021 and see what you've created. Thank you.
Well, Sheila, thank you. And I'm going to stop this video in just a minute so that if anybody has any questions, and we can be a little more personal. But one of the things I want to tell you that it was a huge aha, and I don't know if anybody else got it, is I didn't realize how when we set these resolutions and not really with a goal, with vision and action plan, I think that it disempowers us. I mean, you kind of know that, but to be able to say that out loud, I mean, I took a bunch of notes here as you were, and I could tell Karen was, and a few others are taking notes here, because that's a huge aha. That is a huge aha. And I can see why some women then end up failing, or end up, not and beating themselves up and comparing and whatnot. So that was incredible. Thank you. So we're going to say goodbye to Sheila. And I thank you everybody for popping in on our YouTube. And then next we're going to see Lori. So thank you so much. And we will tell you, have a great rest of your day. And I will put information about Sheila so you know how to reach out to her below this video. Thanks so much, and good night, everybody.